the old economic systems are imploding, aren't they? They're just not working. And we're moving from the industrial to the post-industrial service knowledge era. Well, what do economists keep telling us? They keep telling us, and you've heard this, that the most important capital now is what they like to call high-quality human capital, right? Mm-hmm. Well, where is that produced? It's not just produced in universities. We know from neuroscience that it starts very early on. So, to make a long story short, the best and most cost-effective investment a nation can make is in caring for people starting in early childhood. And this is also the only way that we can no longer be marginalized. And you know, the nations like Sweden, Finland, Norway, they were very poor at the beginning of the 20th century. So poor that there were famines. If you know, Minnesota, whole states were populated by people fleeing. Today, that's right. Today, these nations invariably are in the highest ranks, not only of the Human Development Reports, but of the World Economic Forum's Global Competitiveness Reports. So investing in caring pays. It pays big time. And it's up to us, though, to bring this new perspective out. To bring out studies, for example, like one that we did at the Center for Partnership Studies, showing that the status of women, because yes, in those nations, by the way, women are 40%, 40% of the legislature, okay? It's very different. To show that raising the status of women is a better predictor of the general quality of life than GDP. So we have a lot of work. But we have to really address the basics, the roots of our problem, which are these measures, economic policies, economic practices. And this is something that you are in a unique position to affect.
Thank you. I think because we probably have like 5 minutes left.
Oh dear.
I want to just fast forward because Kim Otis, who's with Riane today, she's going to be having a table at the Action Lab to have talk more in detail tomorrow. But I want to ask you about the result of your research and everything that you just told us. The Center for Partnership Studies is launching a new campaign called the Caring Economy Campaign. And I think we're hearing so much about that in this meeting in terms of the idea of these caring professions being brought forward and put in the center of our economic theories and models and constructs. So can you just tell our network about the campaign?
Well, it has three components. One, of course, is changing economic measurements, because what is not counted is not going to be part of policy, is it? Mm-hmm. So we have been talking to the people of the state of the USA and about the new system of key national indicators that has been approved by Congress. And we're having a meeting in a couple of weeks in Washington, D.C., of experts to develop what we call social wealth economic indicators that, yes, that show the enormous economic value of the work of caring and caregiving in both the market and non-market economies, that no longer really dismiss the importance of women, of children, of communities of colors, of the majority. This is essential. And this is, we're going to root causes, aren't we here? And laying foundations. Of course, another part of the program, because just having indicators, and by the way, I should tell you that there are lots of new indicators coming down the road, like the Stiglitz-Sarkozy ones. They still marginalize us. They still don't show. I mean, the train's about to leave the station again without us, and we can't let that happen. All right, so this takes me to the second element of the campaign, mm-hmm. which is, of course, the coalition building, the grassroots. We have a Caring Economy Coalition. We already have quite a few members, big women's organizations, the National Council of Women's Organizations now, et cetera. But not only women, because this is something we have to also do with enlightened men. So it's progressive businesses, faith communities. Our website is caringeconomy.org, And I want to invite you to really become members of the coalition. We will be featuring the work of all of the allied organizations that are related to this work of social justice, of really fundamentally changing our economic system, which is what we have to do. And of course, there's education, which is the third part, at universities, conferences, but also we have a fabulous online Caring Economy Leadership Program. And again, I want to invite you to check that out. Do we have time for a 3-minute video? Because we have it here.
I don't know. Is it queued up? Okay.
Yeah, and you can download it, by the way. Can we have it, please?
You don't often see the words caring and economy next to each other. But what if you did? What would begin to change? When we measure the health of our economy using GDP or the stock market, we miss important things with real economic value. Caring for a child, a clean environment, volunteering. What if these essential but undervalued activities were included in how we measure economic success? Would we have the crisis we are in today? Would we have so much suffering, greed, pollution, and so much lost human potential? It does not have to be this way. U.S. maternal mortality rates, highest of all developed nations. U.S. children in poverty, more than 1 in 5 U.S. children. 4 times higher than Denmark, Finland, and Norway. We can change our course and move to a caring, equitable, and sustainable future. The Caring Economy campaign has 2 goals. First, change the conversation with accurate measures of economic health that show the enormous contribution of caring to human well-being and economic success. Second, and here's where you come in, empower organizations and individuals to lead the movement for a caring economy. Locally, nationally, internationally. We can make it happen. Tax credits for childcare, higher pay for elder care workers, better training and government support for early childhood education, tax breaks for caring businesses, a rise in real wealth for all, not just a few. If you believe caring and the economy belong together, join the Caring Economy Campaign Coalition and encourage your organization to do so too. Here's a message from Riane Eisler, President of the Center for Partnership Studies and author of The Real Wealth of Nations.
Policymakers need this information, and it's up to us to get it to them. Let's do it. Let's do it for ourselves, for our children, and for generations to come.
Join the campaign coalition.
Thank you, Riane.
And thank you. I really, again, want to invite you. I know that we've covered, well, I've sort of taken you completely out of your comfort zones, probably. But that's where we have to go if we're going to shape the future. And you are in a position to do this. So I invite you to not only join the Caring Economy Coalition, but to take leadership in it. And yes, so we can move to a caring economy that will work for women, men, and children. I thank you.
Thank you. So I'm just going to wrap up from here, if you don't mind. I think what I'm hearing from both this morning's session and this conversation is, and even throughout, the theme of realignment and also shifting in our thinking. Dr. Sasson talked about the things that she's looking at from the opposite of what we typically look at and uncovering the invisible. And I think that's so aligned with what we've just heard now about just the transformative way we have to begin to analyze our situation and the conditions. And, you know, we talked about having our slice of the pie. Well, I think what we hear now is we don't want a slice of a poison pie. We want to bake a new pie, right? And that's really what we're called upon. So I hope that all of this really kind of inspires our thinking as we share the next 2 days together, and we begin to ask questions in a new way to get some new answers. So thank you so much for sharing. And she'll be signing books outside right after the lunch.